Hey guys, hello again. It's me, third time lucky. Nice to see you again. Today I wanted to talk about job interviews and three things that you should be thinking about when stepping into a job interview environment. These learnings that I've picked up have come through the experience of A, doing job interviews, and B, interviewing people for different roles in the space of my management career. So, the three things I wanted to share were firstly, um, manage your nerves. Job interviews are intense. There are scary moments or scary times, contained periods of time where you feel like you're going to be judged by someone who's evaluating your fit for a role. Um, and I think there's two things I want to say about that. The first thing is to really get into a headspace that you, the company is not the only person judging you. You are actually judging the company. So it's a level playing field. Obviously, those people have money and you want to access some of that, by getting a permanent role. But really important to consider that, it's a two-way conversation, not a one-way thing where you're being judged. It's actually both ways. And the second thing around nerves is just to manage them. There's ways to manage nerves. Do a quick meditation, go for a walk outside, do exercise that morning, set powerful intentions before your job interviews. I think all of those things that really help manage nerves and walk in and help you walk into interview with a positive, confident, and calm headspace, which is really important to having a successful conversation. The second thing I want to talk about or share with you was really about asking your employer or interviewer questions in the context of an interview. And I think that there's a misunderstanding where people think that, and I've been guilty of this as well, where it's actually about impressing the other party to ask them questions more so than it's about soliciting information yourself. I think that really the purpose of asking questions is really to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. And you should be looking to ask questions that probe questions around the business. What kind of culture are you getting into? Do they have realistic expectations? um, How do they embrace work-life balance? Like all of these things that might be important to you should be, and if they're not addressed in the context of the interview discussion, I think should be addressed as part of the questions you ask. And while it may seem that you might be asking too many questions and you might be asking questions that they don't want to hear, at least what you're able to do with that information is assess your cultural fit with the organization. And then the third thing, and this has been quite an interesting one for me, is really just to understand that a lot of us go into job interviews thinking it's all about selling ourselves, selling our achievements, making sure that people understand what we're about. But I think what we miss sometimes is understanding the connection between what we've done and the value that we might create for another organization, and just trying to really think hard about how you put your story together with what that organization wants for the job or for the role. I think it's a really important consideration that helps you create rapport and find a common ground with your employer. So that's just something to think about in relation to job interviews. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you have any other tips or thoughts around, um, or things you want to discuss or comments around what I've just said, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully we'll chat again soon. Take it easy.